searching, but I can't seem to find someone that can hold me through the night. I'll count to 10, then open up my eyes. If you're gone, I'll take it as a sign. But if you stay, then baby hold me tight and send me off with the words of a lullaby. Try to figure it out anyway. Songs of worries traveling with the storm, but I must try to figure it out alone. Yeah, I must try to figure it out alone.
갑시다. 와, 여기 무슨 백화점 같아, 그치? 스테이션으로 가야 돼. 스테이션 지하네.
Dienstag Ruhlacht auf Gleis 17. Der Interregio 36 nach Zürich geht.
Eine Gleisänderung zum Interregio 16 nach Bern.
오토바이 조심.
여기는 버스가 없고 다 저걸로 다니나 보다.
Trees aren't green, the ocean is grey, sky is a vague blue, come my way. My room is a mess, it could use a hand. My favorite TV shows to capture on. I know must get it right, must get back in the fight. This can't be a surprise.
보면
있어.
할렘가 뭐 그런 느낌인데?
응.
그렇게.
우리도 들어가 볼까?
아까 그거 들어가서 이게 엄청 이것도 오래된 것 같은데? 운동회에 나올 것 같은데? 소풍 느낌 나는데 소풍?
잔디 밟아봐.
소풍 느낌 난다 소풍.
있고 이 사람 여유롭게 앉아 있고. 와 이건 찍어야 돼.
일로 가야지.
응. 과일 먹을까?
가로수 파는 거 하나 가격이야?
맞아. 눈 좋아지게 블루베리도 먹을까? 이거 다들 먹더라고. 엄마 여기 요거트 있어. 응.
아니 아침에 먹는 거 이런 거? 너무 많나? 너무 사자. 이쁘다.
귀여워.
이쁘다. 초콜릿 넣었어 이렇게. 그래.
이렇게 하면 이쁠 것 같은데.
그래 하나 해.
동전 같은 것들 많이 생기면 다 여기 넣고. 영어가 아니야. 엄마 이거는 가격표를 붙여놔야 되는 것 같은데. 이대로. 지금 이게 얼마였지? 이렇게. 인가? 어디로 넣어야 돼? 아. 스푼 돈 주고 산 기념.
스위스 스푼.
같이 먹어요. 누가 더 뻔나. 땡땡. 2차 여행 시작.
1차.
홍보부 아저씨도 멋있다. 여기는 안 보시는 사람이 없네?
아 시원해.
우리
너무 좋아. 시원해서
길 건너서 또 트램 타야 되는데.
어디로 타? 절로 타.
You pull your hair on a back slick. You know I like it like that. The other girls in the backseat. Me in the front cause I'm bad.
몰라. 플랫폼 32로 가야 될 것 같은데.
이거 브랜드 같은데.
Hello, Ramona. I can't shake the simplest feeling beyond the ghost. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, Ramona. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know.
있어? 여기 보세요. 안녕.
Clouds and thunders standing in my way. I must try to figure it out anyway. Songs of worries travel with the storm, but I must try to figure it out alone. Yeah, I must try to figure it out. We stand on the opposite shore. Hello, motor. I reach through mysterious ceilings, my only hope. I look for the things I don't know.
You pull your hair on a back slick. You know I like it like that. The other girls in the backseat, me in the front 'cause I'm bad. And it feels like the prom that you never saw a girl drunk.
오늘은 3일차입니다.
Anyone be a photo on it? You should be.
와,
여기구나.
와,
와, 멋있다. 와, 대박 멋있다. 만년설.
Wanna be free of this heart, yeah. Wanna feel your arms around me. I need you more, need you here, more than I would like to admit. Let's forget about tomorrow, yeah. Should I hide away forever? Should I close my eyes and never again hold you tight, call you mine, think about you every time? I remember that it's over, yeah. You never break, you never lie, you never ever scared of the dark. So why am I the one who cries? I'm so afraid to be left behind. I think about you a lot. It's almost like I can't stop, can't stop, yeah, yeah. You never lose.
짠. 와, 이거 진짜 맛있다.
Wanna be free of this heart, yeah. Wanna feel your arms around me. I need you more, need you here, more than I would like to admit. Let's forget about tomorrow, yeah. Should I hide away forever? Should I close my eyes and never again hold you tight, call you mine, think about you every time? I remember that it's over, yeah. You never break, you never lie, you never ever scared of the dark. So why am I the one who cries? I'm so afraid to be left behind. I think about you a lot. It's almost like I can't stop, can't stop.
Hi. Yes.
캐러그라이스 기대기대.
We need to go downstairs too. Is in the sky or nothing?
밑에서 만나.
하이. 내려옵니다.
Nou, die komen weer op.
아 진짜?
알프스의 소년 하이디. You're ready, you're ready.
Trees aren't green, the ocean is gray, sky is a vague blue, come my way. My room is a mess, it could use a hand. My favorite TV shows are capturing. I know I must get it right, must get back in the fight. This can't be a surprise, I think I'll let it slide. I'm sleepwalking through all of my problems, I know I can't make it through. Every night is the same.
여기 어디? 키리스. 우와. 와.
여기서 딱 찍으면 세는 거잖아.
갔다 와?
땡기면 되겠네. 땡기면.
The day is getting closer, so I'm losing my regrets. I'll call you when I get there, but don't be mad if I forget.
미쳤다 진짜.
예뻐.
네 그럼요. 대박이죠? 다들 시골에서 도시 상경한 것처럼. 아 봤어요. 너무 신기해. 유유자에서 걸어가고 있어.
The perfect summer is over in a flash and you're on your way. Somebody near is open for tonight. It's not too late. My mind says yes. You've been here for quite some time, but my heart tells me you should stay a little while. Are we at the end or are we at the start? 129 beats per minute from my heart. Anywhere we go is where I love to roam. Night or day, I'm taking you all the way. 'Cause my heart screams, let me carry you home. Bright lights and colors, love is for the ones who dare to wait. No use in running, beats per minute from my heart. Anywhere we go, 'cause we're
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song, in the old neighborhood. As the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood, like a quiet